Preservation Zebulon is a nonprofit organization that seeks to preserve the built environment in Zebulon and the greater area and to capture memories of those residents who lived here. And we're delighted to be out here today. Even though this is not in the heart of downtown Zebulon, it still has a Zebulon mailing address, and there are so many memories here. There have been over a dozen weddings held here. People had their high school graduation photos taken here. There have been baptisms, reunions, just a lot of family memories have been created here by longtime residents. And every time I mention the mill pond or do a write-up, I hear people coming forth and telling me about wonderful memories they've had here. A lot of fish have been caught in this pond, bass, crappie, a lot of things. It's a mile long of lake. There are 2 islands toward the end of it. There's a lot of different birds that can be seen. Boat ride shows you how beautiful it is. We are having a drone run over to show today everyone who's attending how beautiful the pond really is, since we can't take them out there in boats on this occasion. So today we're at Perry's Mill Pond. This beautiful place with a mill, a grist mill, and a dam was put up in 1778 by Joseph Norris. He got the land from the state of North Carolina and put the very first grist mill up that long ago. That mill stayed up until 1913 when it came down in a hurricane. The mill went through Joseph Norris to his son, and then it was sold to 2 other owners, and then it came into Dr. Crudup's family, who had it for a long time and went through several owners in the early 1900s. A hurricane took down that original grist mill and earthen dam in 1913. That dam stayed down until the early 30s when it was bought by the Zebulon Ice Company. They were planning to build an ice plant here and not to replace the grist mill. Those plans did not come to fruition. And then Clifton L. Perry bought this in 1934. He rebuilt the dam with concrete. He put up a grist mill and many other buildings, and his family still owns it today, 90 years later. Today it's operated as a site for fishing, for boating, and they have a recreated mill house that went up in the year 2000. There have been 2 other mill houses that were also up here. One was put up in the 30s, and then a hurricane in 1995 took out the mill house. Flooding after a hurricane ruined the earthenware dam underneath it, and it just fell in. Then that was recreated, and unfortunately in 1999 another hurricane came, and the flooding then took out that mill as well. And so the year 2000, this mill over here was put up. It's a replica mill with an overshot wheel. It is not a working mill. But we are pleased to be here today. It's a fundraiser for Preservation Zebulon. We're talking about the history of the mill and of this wonderful area and of the family that has run it for so long. In the 30s, 40s, and 50s, there were 3 apple orchards here and cider presses. There was also locals talk of there being some moonshine here somewhere from the 2030s until the 70s. I've had several locals come up to me at Preservation Zebulon and say that their aunt or their grandparent, was involved in that operation, with a big chuckle. I haven't been able to confirm that, but you got to believe the locals' word. And then the mill did shut down in 1965. Like most mills around in the area, it was no longer commercially viable. Farmers weren't bringing their grains to a mill to be ground anymore. Things were being done a different way. But the site has been re-landscaped after that in preparation for the bicentennial in 1776. And it's just a beautiful place to enjoy. Preservation Zebulon is always seeking more stories from locals who can talk about what's happened in the area that makes this place so special and keeps our heritage forward.